Sonic Rumble was originally leaked on March 24th, 2024 under the name Sonic Toys Party. Yes, that's the real logo. This trailer would show a multiplayer party game where you can play with up to 32 people. It was essentially just a Sonic version of Fall Guys. It looked a little rough, and this build even used a stolen fan render made by TBSF. There was a leak earlier that year which rumored 3 different Sonic mobile games. A Chao Garden game exclusive to Netflix, a sports game, and a multiplayer game that would have similar gameplay to Fall Guys. So once this game was revealed, everyone was anticipating a new Chao Garden game. But unfortunately, at the time of recording this, there still hasn't been any news or confirmation. After this trailer was leaked, many people were excited while others didn't even believe it was real, with it being such an early build of the game. A month passed, and on May 8th, Sega would announce that Sonic Rumble would be releasing later during the winter. This was very exciting news because we've never really had a huge multiplayer Sonic game like this before. This also came with the announcement of a closed beta that would take place from May 24th through May 26th. We would later find out that this game was being developed by Rovio Entertainment after being acquired by Sega in 2023. This is the same team behind Angry Birds, so a lot of people were excited while others were curious to see what they had in store for a Sonic game. On August 19th, the next phase for Sonic Rumble would be announced, and that was the pre-launch phase. They started with the Philippines and would steadily roll out the game to more countries. The next day, the Philippines would gain access to the game, and on the 25th, pre-launch was also live in Peru and Colombia. A few weeks later, on September 12th, 8 more regions were added to the pre-launch. On October 11th, 33 more regions would gain early access to the game, but this is where things started to get a bit messy. They would go on to add skins to the game and even held a Halloween event later that month. This started to make people worry that they would miss out on limited time events and skins. Fans really started to get upset when they held a Thanksgiving event 1 month later. Meanwhile, the game wasn't even playable in America. On December 5th, the next phase of Sonic Rumble was announced. You can now pre-register the game to unlock rewards when the game released globally. If the game achieved 1 million pre-registers, everyone would receive the movie Sonic skin in the game. Now I'm skipping ahead a bit here, but I just wanted to bring this up now. I remember this pre-register bar sitting around 400,000 for several months. I don't know if they forgot to update it on the website, but I feel like it just randomly jumped up one day and reached 1 million pre-registers. On February 28th, 2025, the game reached 600,000 pre-registers. They would achieve 900,000 on April 8th, and then finally achieve over 1 million on April 23rd. It took Sonic Racing Crossworlds a month to sell 1 million copies, costing at least $70 each. But it took a free Sonic game several months to do the same thing. Now I understand that this is a mobile game, so most people might not even care to begin with, but they later announced the game reached 10 million combined downloads and pre-registrations. This could include wishlisting the game on Steam, so 10 million could be possible, but something just seems off because that is a crazy number for a mobile Sonic game that half the world doesn't even have access to. And with it being the 219th most wishlisted game on Steam with only 17,000 followers, I just don't understand how that's even possible. Anyways, the same day they announced pre-registration, the game received an update for Pre-Season 1 which included a Season Pass. This is where people started to get worried because they kept adding new content without any update on the global release. They held a Lunar New Year event for Pre-Season 2, a Valentine's Day event, and then announced an updated roadmap pushing the global launch to spring. People were frustrated and wanted answers, so they posted an update answering questions about limited time events and skins. They explained that the events were released to keep the game fun and exciting for those who already have access, and that many of the time-limited cosmetics would make a comeback after the global release. This was good news to hear, but they also couldn't guarantee that every cosmetic would return, so we'll probably end up missing out on some of them. On March 13th, the game was already in Pre-Season 3 and they announced the Sonic Rumble Creators Program. This would allow content creators to apply and unlock exclusive perks such as skins, early access to the game, and even have your videos featured in the game. This was a really cool idea that encourages more people to check out the game and put new creators in the spotlight. I applied myself and was denied, so I'm hoping this video doesn't ruin my chances in the future. Content creators that were accepted gain early access to the game on PC. However, I don't think many of them even played it that much because they wouldn't even be able to play with their friends or viewers. Spring came and we finally got a release date of May 8th, and they also announced the Sega Stars crossover event. This would bring characters from Super Monkey Ball, Altered Beast, and Fantasy Zone into the game, but everyone was upset because this event ended the day before the global release. It also wasn't guaranteed that these skins would reappear after global release. I mean, I could see II coming back for sure, but Werewolf from Altered Beast, I don't even think 90% of Sonic fans know what Altered Beast is. On April 30th, they posted an update on the global launch. They decided to postpone in order to create a high-quality, long-lasting Sonic game that the fans deserve. Many people were upset but understood that delaying the game was probably for the best. But I didn't understand because I heard from content creators that the game was already polished and ready to go. Fast forward a week and they release a major update for Pre-Season 4, which added skills. This basically changed how the entire game worked and was probably the main reason behind delaying the game yet again. I just find it strange how the update was ready to go a week after the delay, but they probably just wanted to make sure everything was balanced before the rest of the world had access to the game. Apparently the skills make the game pay to win, as you can upgrade your skills faster with in-game currency called skill stars. They're not as hard to achieve in this game as red star rings, but this brings up another issue I have with Sonic Rumble. The cosmetics in this game are insanely overpriced. This screenshot is in Australian dollars, but when converted into USD, it costs nearly $60 to get 1,000 red star rings. Legendary skins cost 999 red star rings, so paying $60 for one skin is outrageous. This is a mobile Sonic game. It shouldn't cost $60 if I want to play as Toymaker Tails. Don't get me wrong, they have some cool skins in the game, but I would pay maybe $10 at most for these skins. For $60, I would rather buy 6 copies of Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2 instead. I don't have access to the game, so I asked around in the Sonic Rumble Discord, and apparently it's very difficult to get red star rings without paying for them. Some skins also multiply your score, which affects the league leaderboards. And the more skins you purchase, the higher your multiplier is, granting players that pay easier access to certain rewards. On July 25th, they posted another update on the global launch, stating that they don't have a specific date, but it's still scheduled for later in the year. I honestly felt bad for the social media manager during all of this, but after 7 long pre-seasons, we finally got a new release date of November 5th, 2025. I'm recording this the day before the game is supposed to release, so it could get delayed again, but I think it's actually releasing this time. It took nearly 2 years for Sonic Rumble to release since the original announcement, and I'm very excited to finally get to play it. It has its issues, and I really hope they lower the price of the cosmetics and bring back ones we missed out on. It seems like the new season pass for global launch is Black Knight themed, which was the same theme as Pre-Season 4, so they're already on the right track. They're also bringing back the Sonic Movie 3 crossover event on launch, which I'm sure a lot of people would have been upset if they missed out on. Multiplayer games like these don't last forever, but if they make it available on all consoles and continue to update it, I think it could last a while. I usually don't make videos like this, but I've been thinking about it for a while, and I just wanted to talk about the issues I've had with this game's release. I'm still going to be playing the crap out of Sonic Rumble, and maybe I'll forgive them as long as they put in Ristar and don't charge me $100.